Welcome to episode 38 of KinFit. I'm Michael.
I'm Tiffany, and today it is a cloudy day in Montreal, and we are filming outside of City Hall.
I believe we're in a moat, or what used to be a moat.
Well, I'm glad it's not a moat anymore.
Me too, but if we don't hurry up and it starts raining, it might end up being a moat again.
All right, let's get to Fit News. So what's going on in Fit News this week?
Well, I came across a very interesting article. It talked about the fittest and fattest cities in Canada.
Okay.
The article talked about a survey that Stats Canada did not too long ago, and they mentioned that Vancouver was the best city in terms of its population being overweight and obese. Only 12% of the population is considered overweight or obese.
Okay.
The worst city in Canada, however, is Hamilton, excuse me, sorry about all you people living in Halifax, is Hamilton, with 74% of the population being overweight or obese. Yeah, I know, huh? And they also go into provinces as well. Quebec was one of the best provinces. Only 56.3% of the population was overweight or obese, and that was followed by Ontario, BC, and Nova Scotia.
So only 56%, eh?
Yeah, only 56, so it's still pretty high.
Overall, it's still not that great, with at least half the population being overweight. However, I guess we're not doing too badly compared to the rest of Canada.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
I think everyone has some work to do there.
Yeah, definitely Montreal has some work to do too, because if we compare Montreal with Vancouver, Vancouver only had 12%, while Montreal has 51% of the people being overweight or obese.
So we gotta work hard, Montreal.
Yeah, jog more.
All right. Okay, and on my end, there has been some proposals from Health Canada to start fortifying, get this, junk food. All right, there has been talks of adding some vitamins and minerals to junk food, just like how we have started fortifying foods with vitamin D and folic acid. But junk food is a whole different arena, and nothing has come yet to pass. Nothing has been decided yet, but it has been proposed, and there are pros and cons to this, and there are some health specialists who are a little bit worried about this. Once we start, if we start to add vitamins and minerals to junk food, they're worried that it might encourage people to eat more junk food and not eat the healthier foods. Yeah. So there is to be something to be debated about this, but
it would be an easy way out. You know, it's like, oh hey, I'll buy a bag of chips because it has added vitamin A.
Maybe not, but we won't know. But we'll definitely keep you posted once we found out anything concrete about that.
Yeah.
And on just a very quick note, just recently on the Martha Stewart site, they had a write-up about foods that may help prevent or decrease the risk of certain diseases. So it's a really interesting read, so we'll definitely give you the link so that you can read that. Yeah,
they talk about foods that help reduce obesity, Alzheimer's, heart disease, so definitely something to check out. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And in a last bit of news, for all of you who've been following us since episode 2, I had talked about back then a website, NikeBauer.com. I mentioned that actually in the website they had exercises for athletes to incorporate into the program for dryland training. Now it was very interesting because they showed you exercises, they showed you how to plan your workout, and they also showed you stretches. Well, a couple years later, they actually evolved. Nike now has a program dedicated to sports conditioning. It's called SPARQ, which stands for Speed, Power, Agility, Reaction, and Quickness. And if you go visit their website, again, you can find specific videos on how to train for speed, how to train for power and quickness. And definitely, if you're an athlete, something to check out to add something to your program. And if you're not an athlete, well, these are exercises you can also incorporate into your routine to make things more interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so something to check out. Definitely. And last little note I want to finish off with is for all of you guys that live in Montreal, McGill regularly has exercise clinics for everybody, and the one that's coming up soon, which I believe is May 24th, is a walking clinic. So for all those who want to incorporate walking into their daily routine for physical activity, or if you're already a walker but you want to find ways to increase the intensity for walking, definitely this clinic is something to check out. Excellent. Yeah. All right, so that'll be it for Fit News this week. So on today's information, I've decided to do a very brief introduction to coffee. This drink is very integral to many people, but where exactly did it come from? So one of the legends has it that several hundred years BC, a goat herder noticed that his goats were very lively and energetic after eating the berries of a certain bush. And now a few thousand years later, we are now coffee drinkers. Now, this coffee plant is actually, like I said, it's a bush, and it has a flowering plant on it and berries. These berries are green when they're immature, and they turn to a red color when they're about ripe.
and each berry contains about 2 beans, and these are what we know as coffee beans. So in all, it takes about 4,000 beans to produce 1 pound of coffee, and each coffee bush produces about 1 to 2 pounds of coffee. So now, for the actual type of beans, there are 2 main species of beans, which is the Arabica and the Robusta. The Arabica is actually contained in over 70% of all the world's coffee products. It is more flavorful and aromatic and contains half the amount of caffeine as the second species, which is the Robusta. The Robusta is easier to grow, the bushes yield higher crops, and it is more disease resistant. Now, in order to make a coffee blend, most countries will in fact take different amounts of each and blend them together to make their own special blend of coffee. Originally, the plant actually came from Africa and Asia, but now over 70 countries produce coffee. So please stay tuned for next episode, and I will talk a little bit more about special coffee products. So that'll be it for this week's Influidmation.
So this wraps up this week's rainy episode of KinFit.
Please check back our show notes for all the information we want you to find out about.
And if you have any ideas, suggestions, or questions you want to give us, you can always email them to us at info@kinfit.tv.
And I guess since we have no cameraman today, we will thank ourselves.
I was cameraman.
So was I.
So remember, don't quit.
Stay fit. Nutrients into foods. Oh, hi there. That was awful.
I know, I was like, okay, cut.
He's a guest.
He's a guest.